Hey, my rock stars. I want to talk to you about the most iconic concert you've ever been to. Maybe it was Madison Square Garden. Maybe it was Red Rocks in Colorado. I still have yet to see a show there. It is on my list. Or maybe it was a tiny little club with sticky floors and the best acoustics you've ever heard in your life. Whether it was, close your eyes for a second and picture it. Now, think about what makes a great venue. It's not just the size, it's not just the name on the marquee. A great venue has great bones. The infrastructure works. The sound system is dialed in. The space is maintained. It sets it sets up in a way that allows the music to actually land, to resonate, to be felt in your chest in a way music is supposed to be felt. I spent years in the music industry as one of the only female production managers at House of Blues Las Vegas. And I can tell you from experience, it doesn't matter how talented the artist is. It doesn't matter how perfect the set list is or how flawless the sound check is. If the venue is a wreck, the show will suffer every single time. A crumbling infrastructure, bad acoustics, a space that hasn't been maintained or cared for, it doesn't matter what's happening on stage. That experience is going to be compromised. Here's what I want you to sit with today. Your body is your venue. Remember that. Your body is your venue. It is the physical space where your entire healing journey happens. And for most of us who have been through trauma, we have been neglecting our venue for years, sometimes decades. We've been pouring everything into the performance while the building itself is actually crumbling. I'm Tracy Smaldino, and this is Trauma Rockstars. Today, we're talking about your venue, your body, and how to come home to it. In the concert world, the venue is everything. It's not just a backdrop, it's the container, it's the infrastructure that holds the entire experience. Without a solid venue, there's no show. Your body is the same thing. It is a container of your entire life. Every thought you think, every emotion you feel, every experience you have, it all lives in your body. Your body is not just the thing that carries your head around. It is your home. It is your instrument. It is your venue. And here's something that took me a really long time to truly understand. Your body is not separate from your healing journey. Think about that. Your body is not separate from your healing journey. It is your healing journey. You cannot think your way to healing. You cannot intellectually understand your way out of trauma. At some point, the healing has to move from your head down into your body, into the venue. Science has proven, and I know we talked about this a little bit with Cheryl in my recent episode, that trauma is not stored in your memories alone. It is stored in your body, in your muscles, in your nervous system, in the physical sensations that carry around every single day without even knowing or realizing it. That tension in your shoulders that never quite go away, the tightness in your chest when certain topics might come up, the way your stomach drops when you get a certain kind of message. That's not anxiety. That is your venue telling you something is unresolved. The good news, venues can be renovated. They can be restored. They can be maintained and cared for and upgraded. And that is exactly what we're doing today. You have been so focused on the performance, on showing up, on surviving, on getting through the day that you forgot to take care of the building. Your body has been holding everything together while you ignored it. That stops today, you guys. One of the most common and least talked about effects of trauma is what I call living above the neck. Most trauma survivors spend the majority of their time in here, in your head, thinking, analyzing, planning, overthinking, maybe replaying things again. Anything to stay out of the body, because the body is where the pain lives. And if you go down there, you might feel it. So we disconnect. We check out of the venue. We float above it. We go numb. We stay super busy. We keep moving so we never have to stop and actually feel what's happening inside us. Does any of this sound familiar? Because this was me. I did it for years. I was so good at functioning, at showing up and getting things done and looking like I had it all together that I completely lost touch with what was actually happening in my body. I didn't know what I was feeling half of the time, though, because I had trained myself not to feel it. I had basically left the building. Here are some signs that you've been disconnected from your venue for a while. You feel like you're watching your life from the outside instead of living it from the inside. You don't notice physical sensations until they become painful or maybe even illness appears. You go numb when things get emotional. You just kind of shut down. You're always in your head, analyzing, planning, worrying, and rarely in your body. You feel safe only when you're thinking, not when you're feeling. Touch, even good touch, makes you uncomfortable or feels foreign. You've been told you seem checked out or not present, even when you're physically there. And here's what I want you to understand about all of this. This is not a character flaw. This is not you being broken or weak. This is an incredibly intelligent survival response. Do you understand that? It's an incredibly intelligent survival response. When something happens to us that is too painful or too overwhelming to feel in the moment, our nervous system says, get out fast, leave the venue, we'll come back when it's safe. The problem is that for a lot of us, that get out signal never got an all clear. We left the venue during the storm and we just never went back. We stayed in that feeling. The storm was over, but we're still standing outside of our body. My body has been in this mode for decades. For all of you that have been following me, know this. Until I finally realized I couldn't go on. I hate the fake it till you make it saying because I was actually just doing that for years. And that is a bunch of BS. That's why I hate that saying. I talk about this all the time. You cannot fake your way to healing, it's impossible. I've had so many difficult relationships because I never realized this before. Trauma didn't just hurt you, it evicted you from your own home. And healing is the process of moving back in, one room at a time. You are allowed back in. This is still your venue. This is your journey. Every great venue has infrastructure you don't see, but absolutely cannot function without. There's the electrical system, HVAC, the lighting trusses, low bearing walls, the plumbing. You don't notice any of it when it's working, but the moment something goes wrong, the whole operation shuts down. Your nervous system is that infrastructure. It is the internal wiring of the venue. And for trauma survivors, that wiring has often been running on emergency mode for so long that it doesn't know how to switch it off. I want to break this down simply because I think a lot of us have heard the term nervous system, but don't actually know what's happening inside us. So here it is in rock star terms, okay? Your nervous system has essentially two settings. Think of them as the front of house and back of house. Front of house, activated. This is your fight or flight response. This is your venue on high alert. The lights are blazing. Security is on edge. Everything is loud and urgent and on. This is your nervous system saying, there's a threat. We need to survive. For trauma survivors, a lot of us live here permanently, even when there's no actual threat. Even on a random Tuesday morning when nothing is wrong, the system is just, it's always on. Then there's the back of house, which is more regulated. This is your venue in a calm, functional state. The lights are at the right level, the temperature is comfortable, everything is running the way it's supposed to run. This is your nervous system saying, we are safe. We can rest, we can heal, we can actually be present. Here's why this matters so much. Your body can only heal when it is in a regulated state. Healing does not happen in emergency mode. It can't. You cannot digest properly, sleep properly, process emotions properly, or integrate new experiences when your system is running on high alert. The renovation cannot happen during this emergency or during any emergency. And this is why the sound check we talked about last week is so important, because before you can do anything else in your healing journey, you have to know what state your venue is in. Is the infrastructure running hot? Is something triggering that alarm system that doesn't need to be triggered? Here are signs your venue's infrastructure is dysregulated. Waking up already exhausted and anxious, feeling jumpy or on edge for no obvious reason, trouble falling or staying asleep, digestive issues, chronic tension, headaches, feeling completely flat and shut down, like the lights are completely off, swinging between intense emotions and complete numbness. This is not you being dramatic. This is your electrical system telling you it needs attention. You cannot build a rock star life on a blown electrical system. The infrastructure has to come first. And the beautiful thing about the nervous system is that it is not broken and it's not permanent. It is incredibly responsive to care. When you start tending to your venue, your body, when you start showing up for your own infrastructure, it will respond. It starts to regulate, it starts to feel safe. And from safety, everything becomes possible. Here's 4 tools I can give you. The first tool is grounding. It's reconnecting with the building. Grounding is exactly what it sounds like. It is the practice of bringing your awareness back into your body and into the present moment. When you're disassociated, when you've left the venue, grounding is how you find the front door and you walk right back in. The simplest grounding practice is to just feel your feet on the floor right now. Feel the weight of your body and whatever you're sitting or standing in, or go outside and put your feet in the grass. Take one slow breath. Notice, what does that air feel like coming out? A slow, labored breath. What do you hear around you right now? Name 5 things you can see. That's it. 5 things. That's grounding. It's not complicated. It's just a redirect from up here in your head back down to the venue, which is your body. Here's another tool, is the body scan, walking through the venue. A body scan is a big thing in meditation, and it's exactly what it sounds like. I do this every day when I meditate. You slowly walk your attention through every room of the venue and notice what's there. Not to fix anything, not to solve anything, just to notice. Start at the top of your head. What do you feel in your head? Maybe your jaw, is it clenching? Your shoulders, are they up around your ears? Move down through your chest, your stomach, your hips, your legs, all the way down to your feet. Just notice what's tight, what's numb, what's holding something it doesn't need to be holding. Doing a body scan for even 2 minutes a day starts to rebuild the relationship between you and your venue. And 2 minutes to just lay in bed when you first wake up in the morning and do this body scan can be really, really powerful. You'll start to hear what it's telling you before it has to start screaming and be like, hello. Tool number 3 is movement, which is shaking the walls. One of the most powerful things you can do for your nervous system is to move your body, period. Not necessarily intense exercise, though that works too. That's me at the gym every day. But even gentle movement, walking, stretching, dancing in your kitchen at 7 in the morning, shaking your hands and arms out for 30 seconds. Animals in the wild actually shake after a threatening experience. It's a release. They literally shake the stress hormones out of their system and then go back to grazing like nothing ever happened. We lost that. We stopped shaking. We stopped moving through the stress. So it just stays in the venue, in the walls. You are allowed to shake it out. I love that Taylor Swift song, Shake It Off, Shake It Off. You are allowed to move your body through what it's carrying. That's not weakness, it's just biology. And then the fourth tool is your breath, the venue's HVAC system. Your breath is the one part of your nervous system you can consciously control, which means it's your direct line to your infrastructure. When you slow your breath down, when you breathe deep into your belly, the way Cheryl taught us on that episode, you are literally sending a signal to your nervous system that says, we are safe. It's that simple. The show is not in danger. You can regulate it. Even 3 slow belly breaths before you start your day is tending to your venue. These are easy things to do. It is maintenance. And maintenance is not optional when you're trying to heal. The Rockstar 30 program goes deep into this work, the body, the nervous system, the somatic practices that actually move trauma out of your venue. And instead of just thinking about it, it actually moves trauma out of your venue instead of just thinking about it. Because I designed it knowing that the most important thing we can do in our healing journey is to come home to our bodies. Everything else, the mindset work, the boundaries, the relationships, all of it gets easier once you've restored the venue. You can find it at traumarockstars.com. Here's what I want you to take away. You have been showing up to perform in your venue, but it hasn't been maintained. You've been running the show from a building that's been neglected, dysregulated, and in some cases completely abandoned. And you've been doing it while somehow still functioning, still showing up, still getting through the day. Again, that's not weakness. That is extraordinary. That is the resilience of a rock star. But here's what I need you to hear. You do not have to keep performing in a broken venue. You are allowed to tend to the building. You're allowed to come home to your body. You're allowed to walk back through those doors and say, I'm here. I'm listening. I'm not leaving again. Your body has been waiting for you. It has been holding everything, carrying everything, signaling everything, waiting for the day you finally start listening. This week, I want you to do one thing. Once a day, just once, do a 60-second body scan. That's it. Sit still for 60 seconds. You could be in bed. You could be laying on the ground. You could even do it in the shower. But I want you to just notice what's happening to the venue. No fixing, no solving, no difficult thinking. Just listen. Just walking through the rooms from the top of your head down to your toes and acknowledging what's there. That's it. That's where you start. That's all you have to do. If you want to go deeper, if you're ready to actually renovate your venue and build an infrastructure your healing deserves because you are worth it, the Rockstar 30 program is waiting for you at traumarockstars.com. It was built for exactly this. You are the headliner, but even the greatest headliner needs a venue worth performing in. I'm Tracy Smaldino. This is Trauma Rockstars. And rock stars, they always take care of their venues. I'll see you next Tuesday. The content on this podcast revolves around personal life experiences and is meant to serve as a learning tool. I am not a certified therapist or medical expert. This podcast doesn't offer medical, psychological, or professional advice. If you're curious about your mental or physical well-being, feel free to reach out to a licensed healthcare professional for assistance.